This is my story. This is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story. This is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine. I'm an heir of salvation, purchased by God, born of His Spirit, washed in His blood. This is my story. This is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story. This is my song, praising my Savior, praising my Savior, praising my Savior all the day long.
My name is Lechelle Taylor, and I am the East Texas District Leader for Women's Ministry. Well, when I first heard that you were here, I was told that you came as a part of the family life, Elder and Mrs. Lee. And so I thought, okay, they're coming to maybe just see how the families are doing. I didn't know exactly, maybe material, providing material things. So that was all I heard, just very limited. And then at another point, someone told me, oh, yes, there's a group here and they're kind of interacting with the kids and they're really getting in with them and getting to know them and really integrating themselves with the families. And I thought, okay, I wonder what that is. And then I realized it was the same group.
Okay.
So my learning of you came in steps. And the person that was speaking to me was very impressed with what they saw.
Okay.
And so then I got to speak with you and learn more about the program. And at that point, I saw that it was more than just get in there and play with the kids and, and I realized there was, and I don't like to say it, but for lack of a better word, an agenda, to gain their trust, and there was a lot of research behind it, kind of in how things were being done. And so I was very impressed with what I saw, that the first step that this one person told me about was just to gain their trust. And that's what they saw, and they felt like your group did a very good job of really getting in there. And then I saw when the kids were at the pool and everything, they're waving to you and saying hi, and and so I'm like, okay, they've gained that trust. They've reached that goal.
How would you characterize the impact that we've had?
Well, I would say for me personally, it has been educational to see that. And so even in dealing with them and talking and just casual talking, to be able to say, how are you doing? And just to listen. And that, I think you all have brought that awareness to me to be able to do that. And I believe you've done that for others also, because I've heard others speaking and saying, we have to realize that sometimes if they're just sitting, it's not that they're not doing anything. Maybe they need that time to just de-stress. And so I think people are getting it.
Anything else you want to add that I didn't ask or anything like that?
No, I was just, as you were speaking, it was reminding me that just talking to one individual while we, went to the store together, and she's telling me her background, and I'm thinking, so you've had trauma even before all of this happens. and then you add that trauma onto it, that's a lot of stress. And so it's a lot of awareness, just listening. And so I appreciate, you all coming. And like I came before and I said, can you come again? Can you stay longer?
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because we've seen the positive impact in the short amount of time that you've been here.
Bob Allen. I'm the camp director here at Lone Star Camp for the Southwest Region Conference. So I run the campground here and everything that goes through it, all the groups that come in and everything that needs to happen.
Okay. And so you have families that were displaced from Hurricane Ida. They're coming on your campus. You hear about CARES Learning Partnership sending some people.
Sure.
Tell us what you thought you were getting and
Sure.
how that compared to what happened.
Sure. So I'd heard from one of our pastors that CARES was coming down to the campground, and somehow what I got from him was counseling. And so I go, okay, there's a bunch of counselors coming down to the campground. Hopefully the people want that, whatever, I'm done. So when you guys showed up, though, it was an entirely different interaction. I did not realize what you really were, what you were providing or what you were offering. So when we met for the first time, that was just our introduction. That's all that mattered. Then you can start counseling people. And then as you guys started talking to me, everything changed, and I realized that's not what you guys were at all. You were not just a counseling couple of guys that came down. No, you provide that. You did all these different offered so many different things to the people that were here. But it was more about assessing the situation, figuring out what was needed here, and helping in any way you possibly could. And that was refreshing for me as you started asking me, and how's it going? And started evaluating what my needs were without me even realizing a lot of times that's what you were doing. So, and I really appreciate that because of the fact that you didn't just, what do you want me to do? I mean, you asked that as well, but then as I go on and I'm going, I don't know, just take care of people, whatever. You talked to me and assessed around me without me realizing it, what really needed to happen here. And so that was very refreshing for me to have you guys just going and doing, because it's hard to evaluate that sometimes. When you ask me what it is that I need, I'm not used to. My job is to take care of what has to happen in the campground. So that was kind of odd.
Help take care of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it took me a minute though for me to realize that's what you were doing, and I was like, wait a second here, what's going on? What are you guys actually providing here? This is
Are you trying to take care of me?
exactly. Wait a second here. But it was great for me because of the fact that, and we get this every so often where people come and they do want to help, but it's hard for my side of things to just sit down and go, what can you do for me? Because there's certain things that when people come and ask you, well, I'll take part of your job off and I'll deal with it for you. There's a lot of the stuff that goes on here, I can't really ask you to do that. So it was really nice for you guys coming in because you didn't just sit there and wait for me to tell you what needed to be done. Because, especially on the fly, that's hard for me to come up with. If you, a month ahead of time, we're a volunteer group that's going to help you with something. Now, okay, let me sit down and figure out what it is that I can have you do. I don't think it would have worked well if you guys didn't have what you guys, your personalities, whatever your training is, whatever that is that you guys do. Jesus,
Yeah.
where you can just
That's our
come in,
training.
evaluate the situation, and come up with what needs to happen. And so that took a lot off of me, not having to worry about that. I think you guys have had, first I'll start with, I think you've had an impact on everybody here. But first I'll hit from my side of things. It's a big impact on me because when you guys had showed up, I'd already been dealing with this for about a week now. So it hits that point already where you're starting to, the long haul of a group. So as groups tend to hang out for a long period of time, it's harder to keep that pleasing all the time, that face all the time, that what you've got to provide all the time, and so it gets tiring sometimes. So as you guys were here, you took a lot of that on yourselves. You guys were able to go deal with them, be that front person. Like Nicole was saying, I don't know, he might be taking over as my favorite, and I'm like, in my head I'm going, hey, but great, go for it, because you give that break, that kind of catch up time. This was unexpected, so trying to fit those in and around it, I'm getting behind. And you guys were also here to go, is there some stuff that we can help you out with? And then when they ask for things, you would field that as well. I'll take care of that. I got this. I got that. So from my point of view, it was a huge benefit having you guys here because you fielded so many things. You ended up being the group leader and the service part of it. So that front line, so that was huge. From their point of view, watching your impact on them, same thing. Nicole starts going, hey, this might be my favorite guy now. You guys were willing to step up and give the parents a break. Whatever it was that any of them needed to happen, you were there, as well as the fact that you made them feel like they were important. That's what I perceived through my interactions and watching you guys interact, is that they felt like it went from displaced people that are scared and nervous to people that are being catered to and taken care of. And so I saw that aspect as well. So I think you had a massive impact on my side of things as well as with them. Yeah, I would say CARES is a hard one to describe. As you know, I came in, I had to kind of figure it out. It's hard because you have to almost see you guys in action to fully understand what it is that you do. Because you don't want to say they do everything.
Right, because no one believes that.
Right, but that is kind of what you do, though. You know, it's not necessarily the guys that are coming in with the jack of all trades to just take care of whatever it is, but you fill in with whatever needs to happen. If that's your support staff are getting drained, then you tend to take over. If it's the people needing something, then you take over for that. If there's stuff that's getting put to the side, then you help out with that. Just whatever that is that has to happen. And I think, like I said, the biggest part of what makes you guys successful and such a big help is because of either the training that you guys are doing or your personalities or whatever that is, where you can step into a situation, assess the situation, feel out the people from what their real needs are, not what they're telling you or what you know, because a lot of times that doesn't come out. And figure out exactly how you can help the best in that situation. And I think that's the only way I can really describe what you guys do, is that natural ability to assess the situation and then do what needs to be done.
We talked about it before. It's really just build a relationship first. At the core, it's seeing people as individuals and authentically wanting to have a relationship with them. But it just stems from that. So there's no schooling, there's no credentialing.
Right.
It's, Lord, here's one of your children. We want to build a relationship. And show us the best way to do that in these trying times. So
I am Nicole Mack, and I'm from actually Carrollton area of New Orleans, Louisiana. I am a special education teacher there, and a member of Caffin International SDA Church.
Okay.
Initially, we were told that there was going to be a group of helpers coming, and that it would be an opportunity for us to have some counseling if we felt like we needed some counseling and just be able to talk to somebody. However, when you all arrived, there was no counseling because you all weren't counselors.
We're not counselors.
However, the impact was just as equivalent, because in the small amount of time that you all have been here, I have been able to see the glimmer of hope in others' eyes, self-included. Being able to have kindred spirit is definitely helpful. It's always a blessing to be heard and understood, and you gave us that opportunity to voice not just our attention, but also what our plans were prior to Hurricane Ida, and how we would be able to either continue that or what would be needed once we've returned home to sustain, which was really great. I needed that today myself. And then just building relationships. You all have formed relationships with the people that you are here assisting, and that's really cool. What I liked most about it, I guess, would be that you weren't just here trying to give us what you thought, what type of assistance you thought we needed, but rather asking and actually listening to what we were saying that we needed, and providing it, and not, okay, well, I'm going to pray for you and I'll get back to you.
Got it.
Actually showing up and actually performing the act that you're saying that you're willing to do, was the biggest impact. Not just for myself, but for others, because we talk, and so
Right.
they've expressed how, oh, he said he was going to do that, and they said they were going to do this, and they did that. Yeah. They said that they were going to come and talk to us about school supplies and get us a lifeguard because I told them I wanted to go swimming. Simple things, but things that brought them joy in this particular point in our lives, self included. It was very refreshing to go for a swim, and just to relax and see everybody laughing and having fun and finding the softer side of the situation. In addition to that, I think that the impact overall for me was more so on the lines of, you don't have to do this alone. And that was great. You all were great. I think others should get to know you more and what you do, what you're able to provide, and the care, literally, that you show, that you express, because people respond to genuineness, and you all were very genuine about your desire, your effort, and your collaboration. It wasn't just, I'm here, here's what I'm going to do, versus, I'm here, what do you need from me? What can I do to make you feel better? And that was amazing.